Good afternoon, Facebookers. Gabe Toth here from Gabe Toth Music Instruction and Coaching Online, LLC. I'm located, my headquarters are located in my home in Lower Nazareth, Pennsylvania, which many music teachers do. We have choices of going to the community college. We have choices of going to lesson centers. We have choices to go to music stores. And yes, there's choices where the teachers come to you, or you can go to the teacher studio also. All of those are accepted status quo ways of studying music. I personally prefer, I really think it's really neat, the online, which I've been teaching on and off for 30 years in every capacity known, from one-on-one in, guitar stores to college, adjunct college professor in New Jersey for several years. So, I also came up with an idea. Okay, there are the music industry and teaching especially has gone to so many different branches and there's so many different avenues now that a music teacher can take or the public can take with getting music lessons, whether you're music lessons for a child, teenagers, or adults. And remember, it's just not children. I always, when people who don't know me or my programs, talk about teaching, it's like, well, how many children, the children you teach, I wouldn't let oh my gosh, you're so great with the children and all that. And I'm like, well, actually, there was a time in the past 5 years that I've been teaching where my target audience actually became middle-aged guys that already are playing gigs. Which I didn't think that would happen when I first started teaching. I had all these digital marketing people say, oh, you have to have one niche. You have to have one target audience. Thank God I didn't go for parents of, children or adults or any specific one. I said, yeah, everybody, that's my target audience. Like, no, you can't do that. You got to have just one. But I still didn't listen, and again, I'm glad I didn't, because I wouldn't have found out that my best students a couple years later would actually be adults, male professional adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s that they play gigs. I had guys that play gigs in LA, Nashville, Houston. I still do have work with them, and even London. Okay, and I'm from the backwoods of Pennsylvania here in the Lehigh Valley. This has been my home base for 51 years. I'm really pushing, and this is why I opened up a lot of more hours so I could probably move on at 51 to another place in the world, because I've been here my whole life, but it's time to move on. Way overdue. However, anyway, I have a new product, and of course I'm selling out to AI and music online and online studying, and I really like the online. It's very personable. You don't have to drive around. You don't have to worry about other, noise from other rooms. You get to study in the comfort of your own home, and and it's actually a little bit more personable from what I've been seeing since I started teaching online in 2021. Now, I devised a course for teachers of music. I've had over 1,000 students come and go. So I have a core of maybe 30 that have been with me for even 2 to 3 years, or 4 since I started teaching online during the pandemic. Um, and I came up with a course of how to, I've had over 1,000 students already, and 85, I'm on 85 now, 5-star reviews, and basically what those reviews say and what they're based on and what the people are liking. I've made a course for the teacher who wants to maybe possibly move out of the classroom, or I don't know what's happening with music in the public schools. However, I do know, for those of you who don't know, Florida and Minnesota have special groups with special funds geared for students and parents hiring online tutors. So as programs are being dropped from the school, as schools are being dropped from anything, funding's being dropped, people are, parents are scared to send their children to school because of, dangers. And so the study at home is becoming more and more popular. I remember when I went to school, they would not let anyone home study unless I knew one person at home studied, and that's because she married another student from the high school that was overseas in the service. And that's the only person I ever saw. Even pregnant or whatever, they still came to school. We went to school through blizzards and tornadoes, and it was uphill both ways. I'm just kidding. But anyway, I'd like to read a little bit of the beginning of this course. Okay, and again, you purchase a course from me. Okay, you can call me as often as you would like, within reason, of course. You can call me, and I will walk you through it with no problem, free of charge. Okay, so the course is made for the teachers. Okay, so that if you're not used to teaching online or know what to do or how to get students, I cover all that stuff that has been working for me since I started. Yes, there are thousands and thousands of other people and other programs doing the same thing on Instagram and TikTok, and you'll see it. However, I'm offering the call, and you know me. Well, some of you do. So I try to pride myself on honesty and no BS. I say it like it is. I don't act certain ways at certain places during certain situations. I am me all the time, real, transparent, and honest. Okay, because I'm a believer in karma, and my higher power says it's okay, because karma is basically different things in different matters. Karma is the same thing as do unto others as do unto you. And we can label anything any labels we want, but a lot of things come down to basic meanings. However, this is what I came up with, and everything that I say, teach, preach, okay, it comes from 30 years teaching in the music industry and dealing with people in society, all different types. 40 years professionally in the music industry, working in churches, cruise ships, touring companies, Broadway, you name the venue. I've worn many hats, experiences. Everything that I say, I base off of personal experience. So I don't teach from a textbook, from a news network, from what other people say, or from status quo in society. Everything that I speak of, I've witnessed with my own eyes, learned with my own brain, and through personal experience, which I hope is respected. However, the course for teachers, we start off with, I'm going to read you the beginning just so you know what if you want to purchase it or not. The course is $99, okay? You send me a PayPal or a Zelle or whatever, and I send you the course, and I'll send it to you in the video form, the PDF form, plus you get endless contact with me, a personal tutor, if you want me to walk you through it, or if you have any questions, okay? You've been lied to by the academic establishment. They want you to believe that a century-old rigid conservatory curriculum is the only path to musical mastery. It's a scam designed to keep you paying tuition while your actual playing ability stagnates. Standardized paths are built for the average student, which means they're built for nobody. If you want to produce elite performers, you have to stop treating music like a history museum and start treating it like a high-stakes skill. Okay? The traditional model wastes roughly 70% of a student's time on repertoire they hate and technical exercises that have zero application in the modern world. You're forcing people to climb a ladder that leads to a dead end. Why are you teaching 18th century counterpoint to a kid who wants to shred like a god or produce platinum hits? It's inefficient, it's outdated, and it's killing the soul of the next generation of musicians. Even on Monday, I had a new student, a female adult, saying I left the last teacher because all they wanted to do was theory. Okay, nothing wrong with theory. I gave free theory lessons last week. I'm really stickler about theory, even more so with ear training. However, we don't want to stay too long on any one thing. So when you work with me, you get a variety of a bunch of things. That's why it's important to take notes, okay? Because then we go back to certain issues, and then we intertwine the musical concepts to see why you need to know them, how you need to know them, how you're going to use them, okay, how they work together, and why they work together, okay? So this course is more geared towards being a music tutor and a musical coach rather than teaching century-old methods from a book, which we call a method teacher. Again, if you want to spend your money and go to the lesson mills working with method teachers, that's your own prerogative. However, if you want a better deal for your dollar and have results, this is a result-driven program. Result and transformative outcomes. Okay, not filling up notebooks and focusing on what's wrong, okay? Pinpoint what's wrong and find a solution right away. So the course, you can contact me, direct message me. I don't have the TikTok ads and Instagram ads and Facebook ads and all that out yet. Well, I have a couple on Facebook. However, all of that stuff takes time, and I just want to get it out there as soon as possible to share my knowledge. And there, like I said, there are other people, thousands, doing the same thing. You know, but we can say that about bankers or electricians or you know, engineers. There's thousands of other engineers, thousands of other electricians, thousands of other bankers. But that is not the issue, okay? You want music lessons, you want to learn music, but you haven't. Why? Oh, those lessons when I was a kid were terrible. Oh, the teacher would, whenever I would make a mistake, she'd smack me in the hand with a ruler or whatever, okay? And usually when, you know, there's a lot of stigma that music lessons are not fun and not a burden and are a burden. So we want to change that, okay? We want to make it therapeutic. We want it to be fun. Since you love music and you love bopping your head and tapping your feet, and you love the look of the musician when they perform in the videos, and oh gee, I would love to do that, but that player makes it look so much like butter. Okay, so that's when you invest in the right teacher, the right coach. You go into it knowing the right stuff, learn the right skills, learn the right tricks, and you can and will. Okay, my philosophy of learning, okay, is 3 words. Anybody can learn anything and everything, okay, regardless of age or whatever excuse you find to not do it, with persistence, repetition, and patience. Okay, it's kind of common sense, but we wouldn't think of that right away because it's too easy. Persistence is what? We really have the want, we have the need, we have the urge, we have the passion, we have the I want to do this. You know, that is the persistence, okay? And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to keep doing it. The repetition is over and over and over and over again. Remember, it's been, the study is what? You got to do things 10,000 times to be great. We wrote a musical years ago, Tony Town, and we wrote a song about that. It takes 10,000 minutes to be great, or something like that, from what I remember. But 10,000 times, and you'll be great. And of course, the third one being patience. We have to have patience during those 10,000 times, because we are so, as a society, immediate results focused, and we want everything by last week. I want to play like Van Halen by last week. I want to sing like Mariah Carey by last week. Oh no, that's what I sound when I breathe right. I sound like an opera singer. That's the first time you ever did it. You do it 10,000 times, you're not going to sound like you just did. Okay? For someone to get a sound out for the first time and think that that's the know-all, end-all, then you're not really thinking, you know. After 10,000 times, it's going to be a lot different. Okay? So, if you would like the Gabe Toth Teaching Music course, okay, and I'm also giving away 2 packages of lessons for an adult and also a youth, half hours per week for 3 months. Okay, all kinds of fun stuff. And I have courses in every instrument that act as introduction courses, and we actually use them in the lessons also. It's what I teach and how I teach. And I'm currently working on one that I'm going to be in the videos, and it's a 30 video course, because I've had students say, oh, you should come up with the book or a video, because a lot of the exercises I give you, is based on your performance and evaluation of what is going on in the here and now. And a lot of times I'll take the bits and pieces and say, oh, this person needs work here, they need work developing this, developing that. Okay, let's take this exercise that develops this and does that, and let's mix it with this exercise, and boom, let's put these together. Then you get your own custom-made exercise, and a lot of times those are right off the cuff. And people like that, and that is the learning that's happening. And it's been proven that it is more effective than the traditional standard, textbook teaching type. Okay, so if you have the open mind and you're in the progression, and you would like to teach online even, which it's supposed to grow to like 7 billion, I don't know what the numbers are. but there's supposed big growth in the online teaching and online education. And I believe with a lot of public school funding being dropped, and all that other stuff that's going on, that it's going to open up more avenues for online and online tutoring and in-person tutoring. So, drop me a DM, give me a call tomorrow or the next day. I haven't decided yet. We'll have a lesson in something. I will think of what to do. Sign up for my blog on my website, www.gabetothmusacinstruction.com. That's M-U-Z-A-K, gabetothmusacinstruction.com. I've been doing a lot of work these last 2 weeks on all this stuff. So the blog has a lot of interesting information on it that you may have never heard before. So have fun checking everything out. Have a great, safe week. God bless.